Cody Rhodes is set to make his WWE return in the near future, as we've not seen him on WWE television since WrestleMania 41, where he lost the undisputed WWE title to John Cena. And we know things had gotten a little interesting for Cody prior to WrestleMania 41. The go-home edition of SmackDown before the show, Cody heard some boos. He heard some boos at WrestleMania 41 as well. And we knew going into the setup, having Cody versus a heel John Cena, Cena was still going to get some chants from the crowd. You're still going to get the dueling chants with Cena, let's go Cena, Cena sucks and all that. But you were going to get some of that directed towards Cody in terms of some of the boos were going to go Cody's way. That's just the nature of how it was going to work with having what we thought at the time would be kind of the cool John Cena, right? After he made the heel turn Elimination Chamber with The Rock and all that, we're thinking all the different scenarios that we talked about. Well, I don't know if it's been the same cool factor because, again, the storyline has been a little bit different than we expected when we thought The Rock was going to be included into all this as well. And we know the reaction to WrestleMania 41 in that main event was not the best. And now we're going to see what happens with John Cena as he moves forward on his retirement tour here with R-Truth up next at Saturday night's main event. And we'll see what happens beyond that. But with Cody, this was kind of a time for Cody to step away after losing the championship, a one-year-long reign that we know had started the year before WrestleMania 40, where Cody finished the story, defeated Roman Reigns, and then it was Cody now kind of in that position where, all right, you're getting some things where he's getting booed, and then you have the way that he lost at WrestleMania 41 where it kind of, made Cody look like a chump a little bit in terms of him not being able to take, that and just hit John Cena, right? Just unleash all that frustration on Cena. Do it, Cody. Like, you have to do it to keep your championship by any means necessary. But he couldn't do it. Cody backed down. Cena kicks him, hits him in the balls, whatever, hits him with a title, and that was it. And so, Cody now has to come back. And when he comes back, which we will talk about kind of the time frame here in a second, it's got to sort of change everything. And it may change everything in terms of what WWE has planned, not only for Cody, but for John Cena and some other things as well. And there's a couple reasons why. For starters, if we go with kind of maybe the smaller thing, if you remember back a couple weeks ago, we talked about this rumored tag team that WWE was potentially forming. And yes, that's a tag team of John Cena and Travis Scott. We mentioned the rumors out there that they were trying to work towards a tag team match, and we said at the time a logical opponent would be Cody Rhodes, right? To have him on the other side. We mentioned who could he be teaming with? Well, Bad Bunny would certainly be the best choice if you're talking about it just from the perspective of the best to do it in this era. There's no question in my mind that Bad Bunny, from a celebrity standpoint, I know some people throw Logan Paul in there and all that, but I think Logan Paul has kind of established himself now. Yes, he's kind of a celebrity, but also he's pretty firmly established as a regular wrestler, so that's a little bit different. But if you're moving towards doing a Cody Rhodes and Bad Bunny, let's say, let's just plug Bad Bunny into that spot, versus a John Cena, Travis Scott. Well, that's a pretty high-profile match. It's going to get you a lot of publicity, a lot of mainstream media attention, and all that. And we know in the TKO era, they are not shying away from that. That has been a priority, right? And so, one of the reasons why a lot could change when Cody returns is because if they are setting up this big tag team match, it's because you're moving towards the idea that, hey, this is not necessarily new in professional wrestling. We go back to WrestleMania 1, right? We got Mr. T involved, and we brought up all the other instances of celebrities being involved in WWE over the years. But, you also have the extreme comments out there where Kenny Omega says, well, however many years down the road, WrestleMania is going to be main evented by celebrities. Because, well, hey, it is the TKO era. It's all about making money. It's all about getting the attention. And it is something where if they set up another one of these matches, even though there's been plenty of criticism, as I said, to Travis Scott's role in this whole John Cena storyline, it doesn't necessarily matter to them if they're still being able to bring in the money, which we've talked about, the ticket sales and the SummerSlam, however many thousands of dollars these things are going for the front row seats and all that. And this is where we are. So I think Cody returning could, quite frankly, be returning to set up this big tag team match, right? To potentially do something where he teams with a celebrity, whether it be Bad Bunny, someone else, to take on John Cena and Travis Scott, the super team that has clearly been formed over the past several months in WWE. But what is another reason why everything's going to change when Cody returns, right? Well, because it's pretty obvious. You have to get back to not just a tag team match with Cody and John Cena on separate sides. You have to get back to doing the match again. You have to do John Cena versus Cody Rhodes Part 2. Now, again, there was a lot of sort of criticism for Cody Rhodes versus John Cena Part 1. And so, to do it this next time, you're going to have to do it a little bit different. And it's because of all the reasons we've said. Cody Rhodes is in a different spot now than he was the last time against John Cena, right? He came in, and I'm not saying it was unanimous that Cody was getting cheered by everyone. But if you think about how we left things at WrestleMania 41, again, based on the finish where Cody just could not basically, have what he needed to take that extra step and go beyond his values to keep his championship. Yet John Cena did not care one bit, right? He did whatever it had to do to win the championship to set the record. But Cody couldn't do it. He stayed true to himself. He couldn't use, all this other stuff. But again, a lot of people say, well, it didn't make Cody look the best. Because when you look back at it, look at what he did to Kevin Owens not that long ago, right? He was willing to do what he did to Kevin Owens, but he couldn't take that next step against John Cena. And so, Cody has to come back. And there has to be a newer sort of version here of Cody Rhodes. You can't just come back with a person who went into WrestleMania 41 the same, right? And you would think that that's kind of how they're going to structure this thing, to where when Cody comes back, everything kind of has to change, because he can't just be the same person who walked into WrestleMania 41 and couldn't take that next step to do what he needed to do to keep the championship away from the last real champion, right? The person who says he's going to take the championship away from the fans. Cody couldn't do it. He couldn't protect the fans from John Cena taking that championship and potentially walking away with it when he retires. So, Cody has to come back in a much different spot. Like, he has to change. Not saying everything about Cody has to change, but it could change what's going on now with WWE moving forward, because you are in a position where Cody has to be in a spot where he has to now try to get that championship back. And whether or not Cody is going to be the person to do it or not remains to be seen. But you have to do the match again. There are obviously logical destinations as to when you could do it, whether it's at SummerSlam, whether it's further down the road. Remember, we got a 2-night SummerSlam this year. So whether it's SummerSlam, whether it's somewhere else, you've got to get back to Cody versus Cena. And that's where, does Cody return before Money in the Bank? We're not that far away from Money in the Bank. Saturday night's main event takes place on Saturday. Could Cody return there to be the person who stops John Cena from destroying R-Truth? Is that a possibility? But if Cody, which I saw there was a report out there last week, that Cody was expected to be at Money in the Bank, whether that means wrestling or not, if Cody is expected to be there, well, then you've got to do something pretty quick here, right, to bring him back. But you've got to think you can't just bring Cody back into the mix and just throw him out there and it's the same Cody, or it's the same whatever. He's got to be absolutely sort of cerebral here, and he's coming back to take back the championship against John Cena, and there's a newer side of Cody that's going to be able to do it. The person who we saw at WrestleMania 41 could not do it. But this new version of Cody, the person who you don't want to be booed, he has to have something different at his disposal, right? He's got to bring out something different in his arsenal to be able to get that championship back. And so a lot could change with Cody's return here, like a lot, because, as we said, it could signal in more of these matches where you're going to have, Travis Scott involved in all this, and you're going to maybe see more of these TKO-type matches where it's all about getting some more of the celebrity mainstream attention, which, like I said, a lot of people may make a lot of that, but it's nothing new in WWE, whether it's TKO or the old regime, it doesn't matter. They've always done these kind of things. But the bigger thing is going to be, how do you get back to the rematch between Cody and John Cena? And if you do, how is Cody going to be different this time? And when's it going to happen? How is it all going to be set up? Because like we said, Cena still has other matches out there. You still got to do Cena versus Punk at some point. So these are the two big ones that are still out there for John Cena. The rematch with Cody, the match against CM Punk. Those are two more on the road to December when we know Cena is going to hang up the boots and call it quits. So what's going to happen when Cody returns? How does he return? Again, does he avenge R-Truth on Saturday? Does he wait a little bit longer? Remember, he was actually still advertised on WWE.com for SmackDown last week. Wasn't there, as far as I know. But so I think these are all things that maybe are in motion to see when Cody's going to return. I want to know what you guys think. What's going to happen when Cody does return? What do you want to see from Cody when he makes the return? I know a lot of people still rooting for that heel turn. Doesn't sound like that's in the cards either anytime soon. And I mentioned all the reasons why I could understand why that is. Because he is such a top merch seller and all these other things. He's been the face of the company for a while now. So you can't just maybe make that change, even though The Rock wanted to, reportedly. Actually, not even reportedly. Straight from The Rock's mouth, maybe, about how he wants that Cody Rhodes heel turn. But we're kind of at that point now for Cody where this could be kind of a changing landscape for him if he wants to be able to kind of, keep that same momentum he had before things got a little interesting at WrestleMania 41 for the former champion. So you guys let me know what you think. What's going to happen with Cody when he returns? What do you want to see from him once he makes his return, and what kind of matches do you see in store for Cody? Do you see the tag team match with the celebrities involved? Do you see the rematch at SummerSlam against Cena? What else is in store for Cody as we head into his return here in WWE? So you guys let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Always appreciate you watching, and let me know your thoughts on Cody Rhodes' WWE return.